look, it's a different view. And that's because after all this time, I'm finally back over checking on the landslide. I've got my football cleats on. I never played football, but I got them for cheap one time, and I kept them. So something that's happened here is this tree, which I am pretty sure was a hackberry, sugarberry, hack tree, circus. It broke up there, you see. Now, I can't say for sure if the tree's dead. It kind of looks like it might still be growing from its base, but it's hard to say. And then there's also something that got cut and thrown. Right in there. So I don't know how that got that far down. That's pretty far down. That's pretty far down, but it got chucked over the hill. We've got what looks like really big grape clusters hanging way up in that tree. My attempt at killing this TOH, the favorite food of the lanternfly, but before the lanternflies was here, my attempt at killing this didn't work, probably because I didn't bring the poison over. What you do is you peel the bark the whole way around. If you're watching the playlist, you already know this. But then what you have to do is either glyphosate or triclosalate. I don't know what that second word is. I tried. On the exposed portion of the bark after you peel it all away. And then it takes like 5 years and it falls. I was waiting 5 years to see if it would be safe to come over eventually. But I have really good news here, though. So there are landslides bigger than this and smaller than this up along this same hill passage that are completely bald still. So that effort that I put in to throwing seeds at it, excuse me, I'm going to cough, has made a massive difference. Massive difference. I see 2 sycamores, possibly 3. I see a honey locust that's pretty well established. I see a bunch in the really steep part. You see how it goes here and then there's like a trough going down? I see a bunch of sumac, which makes me really happy. The smaller scrub stuff that I threw at here is doing really well too. I see a lot of inkberry. I see a lot of the snake root. I see a lot of asters and a lot of goldenrod that I can fully identify right now through just looking at it. And given that it is completely flanked by invasive honeysuckle bush, and I only see a few invasive honeysuckle bush farther down where I can't throw far enough for it to get to, you can actually kind of see the difference between my throwing range from here and below, because this is still green. It's actually pretty easy to tell. So a lot of the green leaves down there are this invasive honeysuckle bush seeding. But because I got to this and I went, at the time, all of this was quite traversable. Now we have a couple more slips and stuff, and it's got a lot of hedge going across. But at the time, I was able to walk all the way across this shelf and throw things from all directions. And you can really see how it transitions from natives to invasives at about where my distance of throwing was able to take. And so those few months at the very beginning of this happened the day before Thanksgiving of 2019. So this is a year 4 peak. Thanksgiving is Thursday this week. I don't know what day of I don't know what date it was that year, so it could be almost exactly 4 years taking a look at the progress. There was quite a while where I had swelling in my feet and then other various problems like migraines and stuff that were, and then there's also a ton of ticks, so I'm going to actually have to do tick prevention measures after I go back. But so after that first year checking in a lot, I kind of wasn't doing so healthy after that. So during 2020 especially, that was when I really went after this hillside and made sure that it had as many native seeds as I could chuck at it. So I think it's pretty exciting to see how this is settling in and how it seems to have largely prevented the tree of heaven from being the primary population of this zone, because nobody wants that. Even though we have one there and one here. It's kind of sandwiched by two massive tree of heavens. It isn't what ended up happening as far as what's growing on the grounds here. And I can tell that we can come back another time of the year and I can prove it, but that might be one right there. Past where I can throw. But also that might be, and I think it more likely is, the sumac. And the way I can tell that there's sumac down there is there's this little pop of orange right there. That's the sumac's fall color. And that's very unique to sumac. If you're identifying sumac versus tree of heaven this time of year, that bright red orange, like fire color, that is definitely sumac. And also red berries, but these are too young to be putting out berries at this point. So with all of that, I am super happy. I wish I could still get over, but I think because the deer have now made a new path due to the tree falling, this hasn't stayed open. I think that's why this zone that I was going across the shelf above the landslide, I think that's why it's no longer clear the way it was, because the deer's going through really does keep the ground pretty cleared up. And there's some invasive bittersweet there. I hate that plant. It looks like they're coming out where I am right now and going like that now. I could potentially eventually, that's a weird phrasing, but whatever. I could potentially eventually put in one of my really low cost terracing solutions, maybe right across here, which is a U-post pounded into the ground with then sticks and logs cut up and placed against it, and soil holding the sticks and logs up. And that then holds the soil. I have been wanting to do that and then plant in hardy pecan. I will say so much. That is something that I'm interested in doing, but it's so hard to get over here that I really want to make more of a substantial or easier access path to here before going after that, because otherwise I should be planting them other places around that I have access to a little more easily. Even though this is close and I can keep an eye on when it's ripening, that doesn't mean that it's convenient to get to. To the contrary, it's quite the opposite. It is more difficult to get to than things that are nowhere near me. So, but very encouraging, very good to see. Great comparative study, in my opinion, on throwing a bunch of native seeds at a landslide versus leaving it alone. Given that there's another one about half a mile that way and another 200 foot up, I may start trying to do some of that to that one as well. That landslide's older than I am. I remember it being there my whole life, but if I could start to positively impact that landslide, then we really know we have something. So yeah, these are pretty much all just clay mud balls and native seeds thrown at a problem and left alone for 4 years. So yeah, thanks for visiting this part of the cliffside. It's pretty. I need to get back through this brush before that sunset takes too much of a hold, because it really takes being able to see where I'm going. So hopefully this was a helpful look. And let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have a similar problem and want to just kind of talk about it. There is a landslide restoration playlist on my channel. I'll try and remember to link it or tag it or, you know, closing panel screen it, something like that. But if not, you can just go to my channel and hit playlists and find it up that way. But, all right. Hope you're having a good one. Take care. Bye. My finger was in the way.